So today we're doing my April TBR, in which it's more of a pile of possibilities, and I kind of want people's help deciding which books I should pick up. In the month of April, I want to be reading books that I think I will love. And I want to start out by talking about why we read. Specifically why I read, because I know people read for many different reasons. And some people might read to find their favorite book every time they pick up a book. They want it to be a 5-star read or a book that they really think that they'll love. I don't read to fall in love with every book I pick up. First, because I'm just not that kind of reader where I am going to love every book. And second, I'm reading more for different, I could go on for a whole list. I don't want to do that in this video, but I'm reading for different goals I have, different things I'm trying to do within my reading. And just kind of reading from different perspectives, and those aren't always gonna click with me. So I don't get mad when I don't love books. But I am a bit stricter of a book rater. So I know some people give out, I don't rate books with numbers, but some people give out 5 stars to a lot of books, which yeah, you do your thing. I personally don't. I don't love most books I read. So I don't rate my books on this channel, and I don't use number ratings, but I have a whole spreadsheet where I document how I felt about a book, and it's either hated, disliked, neutral, liked, or loved. That loved category is thin. So as an example, in the year 2021, I read 142 books, and I loved 12 of them, which is 8%. In 2022 so far, so I'm filming this March 27th, I have loved 2 of the 30 books I've read, which is a little under 7% of my reading, so it's fairly on track. But I also do this thing where I don't pick up books that I think I will love, and I think a lot of us do that because we kind of hold an expectation around that experience and really do want to love the book. So I am just letting that go. I am letting my expectations of these books go, and I kind of just want to do a little experiment in which I read books that I do think I will love. So consider this a 5-star prediction list that I'm going to read within the month. Some of them at least. So I'm going to break this up by books where I have evidence that I do think I will love them, and then books that are more just kind of based on a feeling or not as much evidence. So the ones that I have more evidence for, it's because I loved a book by the author before, or really enjoyed a book by the author before. So the first one, which I've been putting off for quite a bit of time, is The Death of Vivek by Akwaeke Emezi. So I had read their book Fresh Water a few years ago when it came out, and while it wasn't a book that stuck with me, where I thought about it a lot afterwards, it was a book that I really enjoyed reading in the moment, not in a way where, because it's a dark book. It's not enjoyable. You're not having fun, but the reading experience was very powerful. So I've heard better things about The Death of Vivek. I haven't read any of their new books, and they're becoming quite prolific, coming out with at least a book a year. So I am quite excited to read that. That one's I'm almost definitely reading. The next one is Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. So I had read Convenience Store Women a few years ago, and I actually had the opposite experience of that of Freshwater, where I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but it really stuck with me afterwards, and I couldn't really stop thinking about this book and analyzing the character and stuff. It just kept coming into my head, and I've heard that the Earthlings, or maybe it's just Earthlings without the, I've heard it's way different, and a lot of people did not like both of them, but I did watch a video that I think that Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot did maybe early last year, in which I felt fairly convinced that I would still love this book. Also, I am wearing a band t-shirt, the Dust Bowl Revival. My friend, a guy I was friendly with in college used to be in this band. It's like Americana music, so they're really fun live. So if you ever, it's like bluegrass vibes, but they're not really bluegrass. So yeah, if you ever wanted to go to a fun live event and they're in the area, I recommend them. Anyway, okay. The next one is one I actually own, and that is Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. I have read Fingersmith from her, which I enjoyed quite a bit, and then Affinity I read last year, which I really liked. The audiobook was really good too for it, and the same woman does this audiobook, so I would be shocked if I didn't love this book. Or at least enjoy it quite a bit. I'm trying to slowly make my way through Sarah Waters' backlist, and this would be my 2022 read from her. Okay, those are all of them that I've read a book by them, I've heard good reviews, I think that I will like them. The rest of them are just I just have a feeling. I have a feeling the right people have reviewed them, enough of the right people have reviewed them, or I'm just throwing it out there. So, okay, the first one I have wanted to read for a few years now, but it wasn't published in the United States, I believe, until last year, and that is 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. So, this is a mythological retelling, a Greek retelling, and from how it has been described, it is has a chorus of female voices. I don't know if it's actually told in a chorus, but it touches on a lot of female voices, giving the female voices to some life, and bringing them to light. I've heard that from people who did not like The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker because it did not do that, even though it said it was going to do that. There's still a lot of focus on Achilles. I've heard everyone who, at least I've seen, who disliked that one, liked this one. I didn't dislike The Silence of the Girls by any means, but I don't know. I love Song of Achilles. I did enjoy Silence of the Girls. The retelling of that from a female perspective just has been working for me. So I just have a feeling. Next one is a little bit less of a shot in the dark because I have read both of her other books and enjoyed them, but wouldn't say I loved them. And that's Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. It's interesting because a lot of people like either one or the other of her first two novels and feel very strongly in one direction and strongly in the opposite direction for the other. I didn't feel that way. I liked them fairly equivalently. There's something about how she writes, the distance from other people, the mental distance from other people, and the unintentional cruelty of people in their younger years that I resonate with. And I've heard that this one is just bigger in scope, it being her third novel. She took on a bit more, so it has potential for me to love it, or at least like it quite a bit. Next one would be In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. I've seen just a lot of people on different channels love this. It's a nonfiction memoir, and I've heard from how the chapters are written. The writing is very lyrical, and the content is very powerful. And my upstairs neighbors are vacuuming, but it just sounds like something I would love, quite a bit. So I'm putting it on the list. Okay, next one, this one I think I heard someone talk about on a channel, and I don't even remember if they liked it, but I've just had it. I got my library to buy it, and I've had it on my TBR for years, and it's The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. Let's look this up. Yes, so from my understanding, it has gothic vibes, which can do well for me. I was just looking at my Goodreads, and I saw that Katie at Books and Things and Emma at Drinking by My Shelf both rated it 3 stars, which is interesting. I don't necessarily always have a aligned taste with them, but that does make me question if I'll love it. But I've had it in the back of my mind. It's like one of those books I've been thinking about for years. Like, you have to read that. It's been actively on my TBR. So maybe that just means I hyped it up in my head, but it's on the list. Now, most of those books, if you see, I didn't hold them up because I don't own them. And I do have a goal of reducing my physical TBR. So, I was perusing my shelves for things that I think I would love, and these ones I'm just winging it on too. So, I love reading short story collections. I don't think that's a mystery. I read probably at least one short story collection a month. I really enjoy the short form. I really love to see what an author can do and how much they could move you or make you think about something in 30 pages or less. That's really my sweet spot. And so I have 2 short story collections that I'm going to probably read at least one from. I wouldn't say I would read both. And that is The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. I've seen a few channels recommend this one, and I like short story collections. So that is around what I enjoy and just what I've heard. It sounds like I would enjoy them quite a bit. And then I have the dust jacket off of this, but this is The Office of Historical Corrections by Danielle Evans. Again, I've heard really good things about this. This does have short stories and then a novella. I have it off because I was planning on reading it this month, and then I just haven't gotten around to it. So I am probably going to read at least one of these. And yeah, I would enjoy people's help deciding which one to pick up. I mean, I'm going to end up picking up both at some point anyway, but for the idea of I'm attempting to read books I think I'll love. Which one? Okay, I also have the goal this year of reading more classics, lesser known ones. So I have 2 that I own, and I have no idea if I'll love these, but I'm just throwing it out into the ether. Do I normally love classics? I would say no, I don't. I prefer, even when I do like classics, I prefer things that read more modern, and the first thing that comes to mind is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Interestingly enough, I didn't love that book in the moment, but it's it's gotten better to me in time, just the character work and the characters, I guess, and the ambiance of the novel have really stuck with me. So these ones are gambles. I'll probably only read one of them in the month, but the first one I have seen people talk about. I feel like I've seen Katie at Books and Things, Emma Drinking by My Shelf, and Brian at Bookish all read this and like it. I think Emma liked it. And that is Despised and Rejected by Rose Allatini. I hear this is described as a queer pacifist novel. So just being a classic that's queer pulled me in. The Venn diagram of the types of those books that those 3 people like, they don't always have super aligned tastes. So there's a chance. Okay, the next one I literally picked up on a whim. I saw that it was published by NYRB. It had a fun name, so I bought it, and it was the Avocado by Elaine Dundy. This just sounds like it's intentionally fun, the book is playful and not taking itself too seriously, so maybe I'll love it. I don't know. those are all the books I have on my list. Those are not all the books that I'm going to be reading in the month. I don't want to burn myself out on like books I love and start comparing them to each other. So I will be continuing on probably with the fantasy series I'm currently reading, which is The Shattered Sands by Bradley P. Ballou. And maybe reading some like nonfiction intermixed into this. That's all I got for this video. Please let me know which books I should read in the comments below, which ones you enjoyed from these lists. And until next time, happy reading.